Kiwi Country star Kaylee Bell has just released her new album, Cowboy Up. We last saw Kaylee duetting with Tami Neilson at Neil Finn's Infinity Sessions, and so we asked her about her relationship with New Zealand's other Kiwi Country gal.
She's one of my really good friends, and yeah, it's so nice to have a real friend in the industry that we just check on each other a lot and catch up for coffees a lot. And I'm a big Tami Neilson fan and always will be. So it's it was one of those rare occasions where we were both actually in the same country at the same time. Normally she'll message me and be like, "Are you in America?" I'm like, "No, I'm home." And then like literally 2 weeks later, I'll be in America and she'll be home. We basically just like ships in the night most of the time, Tami and I. So it was nice that we were both here to be able to jump up and do that with her.
Yeah, it's very cool, very cool. And speaking of going back and forth, I was wondering, because you've spent a bit of time in Nashville, and it has a specific kind of vibe and community about it. And I know people like I think Georgia Lines is over there now. What would you advise people who are trying to go over there to get something from the Nashville thing? What would they expect, and what should they do and ask about?
I think if you're going to Nashville to expect anything, you're probably already going for the wrong reasons. It's
Gotcha.
very much a town of respect, and you really have to earn your stripes there, and you've got to show up for yourself there is a big thing. It's such a community of it feels like a small town over there, and yeah, it's just one of those things. I've been going for about 15 years now, and I'm still finding my way over there, still finding my people.
Yeah.
But it's a city that I just recommend getting there as soon as you can, because the minute you're there, that's when the clock starts. And
Right.
I've spent a lot of time. I've done the trips back and forth. I've lived there for a couple of years. I've kind of done all the different things. And yeah, the thing I've probably noticed is that they really respect when you actually, commit to the dream and commit to being there the majority of the time. So we're just trying to find a way to continue to keep splitting time, because also have a career on the side of the world, which I'm incredibly grateful for and would never ever turn my back on. So
Right.
I think it's just a matter of working out the seasons, and I think we do actually have that in our favor, with summer being at the opposite time of the year.
Yep.
And it just kind of means that we just need to be willing to work all year round, really.
Just like a real job.
That's really the ticket. If you were willing to literally not have a day off, then go
Yes.
for it.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, there you go. And yeah, and so the album Cowboy Up, was that partially done in Nashville and partially in Auckland?
Yeah, so Cowboy Up was a song I wrote at Song Hubs in Auckland last year. It was around March 2024, and it was a Brooke Fraser song camp that I was in, and I actually wrote that song there at the camp. Teased a little bit on TikTok. People started loving it really quickly, and then I kind of had like the whole problem of like, well, who do I get to produce this?
Right.
And I actually heard the Dasher stuff had just sort of come out at the same time. Her song Austin was kind of popping off on mainstream radio here.
I love that song, man.
It's such a great song, and I heard it and I was like, that is the sound. Like that is the sound that I imagined for my song. And so I reached out to Travis Heidelman, who produced that song.
Oh.
And he actually reached back, and he's just like, "Man, I love your stuff. Let me know when you're keen, and let's do this." So we just happened to be in Nashville that same week together. He's actually based in LA, so he was in Nashville that week, and we jumped in the studio, and he produced that track for me, which was awesome. And then basically I just kept kind of writing through the year. Was writing a bit in Nashville, a bit in New York, little bits in Australia, and then I ended up falling pregnant and finding myself back in New Zealand at the end of last year. We just came off the Kane Brown tour and couldn't fly anymore. I think I was about 34 weeks pregnant, and my producer Tom Jordan, who's in a band called Seaforth, he actually flew out from Nashville to New Zealand, and we tracked a lot of that record here at home in our home studio, which was a new way of working that I really enjoyed and want to explore further.
I mean, hearing you say all this, I'm getting exhausted, and then on top of it, you've had a baby. That's insane. It's been a ridiculous year, hasn't it?
Been a lot.
Yeah, I would say so. All right. Jesus. So with the record coming out, it seems like you're kind of the face and sound of country music in New Zealand these days. You've been showing up at all the big shows, kind of at the Spark Arena and whatever when international artists come. I see, was it Jordan Davis just announced a big show
Yeah.
coming. So do you feel you're part of something bigger that's happening?
Absolutely. I always dreamed of hearing country music on mainstream radio, and I think the country music that is starting to take off here is that country pop leaning music that I have always just naturally made.
Right?
I know we have a lot of country artists in New Zealand who are incredible. Marlon Williams, Tami Neilson, Jenny Mitchell. There's so many
Yeah.
artists that have been hustling for a long time, but I feel like what I do is actually quite different to them, and we kind of all fall under this umbrella, as you know, of country, but it's such a broad genre and umbrella. So I think what I specifically do with that pop sensibility that kind of is the part of country that was dormant for a long time, you know, for 20 years of growing up here, never hearing it on radio. That's
Yep.
the type of country music I think that is now taking off, like the Luke Combs, the Jordan Davis,
Yep.
the Dasher, just with that pop infusion in it. You know, it's got those melodies that stack up on mainstream radio. And so, yeah, I obviously feel like I'm part of that, which is amazing to see, like literally see in real time change happening in front of your eyes, and having evidence of that, you know, turning on the radio and actually hearing country music on ZM and More FM. And I feel like that's actual tangible like
Yeah.
results, which is so
Yeah.
exciting.
I remember going to Spark Arena for one of the big shows, and the place was packed, 12,000 people in there. They all knew the words to every song being sung on stage. And I'm thinking, is this like some kind of silent majority thing? Were they always there waiting for this to
Yeah.
happen?
It's crazy, isn't it? I think I've always said you can't like something that you don't hear, and we
Right.
didn't hear it. So I think that was first problem. I
Yep.
think secondly, I think you're right. I think there's always been an underground following of country music in New Zealand, and people have just had to kind of find source it, but it's been quite a lonely existence. Whereas now it's like when you hear something on the radio, it's like the masses hear it at once together.
Yeah.
And it's not something you're having to actively go and search for. It's like it's being fed to you, which I think is also another thing. It becomes part of your day. Like you jump in the car to go to the supermarket and you hear a country song, like suddenly it's part of like our culture and the background of just our day-to-day things that we do. So yeah, I think those two things. I think just the fact that people weren't hearing it and then now they are, and there's been a lot of fans that have been there right from the start that are just getting to enjoy that and have a lot of more people come on board with it now. So yeah, I mean it's the fastest growing genre in the world right now. And yeah, I also think streaming, you know, I think country music was very late audience to streaming. I think radio is still like such a dominant force in America, and I think
Yeah.
the audience has been late to show up to that, but they've arrived, and they've arrived in
Yeah.
full force, and I think that also plays a massive part as well.
Yep. Now, speaking of radio, you have a song on your album, Song for Shania, which obviously you'd been listening to some radio when you were growing up. I think just from the lyric, it was like when you were 6 years old or something. So tell me what connected you with Shania and country music when you were a little kid, as opposed to all the other stuff that was swirling around music-wise then.
I was in the backseat, 6 years old, still the one playing on the radio. Was just a little girl, but it changed my world. Right there in my parents' car. So I started saving pennies in a jar, and I paid cash for my first guitar. Sang anywhere they let me, trying to make the ends meet. Fast forward and here we are. Man, I feel like Shania.
I started singing country music when I was 4 years old, and my brother and sister were doing it. So yeah, I was kind of dragged into it pretty young. They were doing the talent quest circuit that I know a lot of artists in New Zealand grew up doing, the
Right?
gold guitars and all that kind of circuit. Mum was massive, just music fan, and naturally, yeah, the talent quests were just country music leaning for whatever reason. And so we grew up on all of the American stuff, you know, and we'd source it through CD shops, or my grandparents used to find it through different ways. And it's just kind of naturally what I fell into. And I'm so glad that that was the genre, because it's such a wholesome genre. It's such a family kind of orientated genre, and very global also, you know. So yeah, it was a very natural thing falling into that, just loving singing. And Shania Twain, I just have such a distinct memory of getting her CD on one of our Christchurch sort of holiday trips and putting it in the little Discman and just being like absolutely like blown away with like hearing everything I'd like grown up loving, like such an amazing vocalist, but then you've got all the Mutt Lange rock stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah, I specifically remember that moment. And I've just always been such a big fan of hers ever since, and read her book every year and find her journey quite inspiring, because I think a lot of people don't realize she was like in her 30s when she cracked it, and
Yeah.
her and Mutt Lange kind of tucked themselves away and made that record outside of Nashville, and without all that Nashville kind of control and influence, which for someone not from America, I really feel that, I
Yeah.
think
Right. Sure.
they aspire to the fact that she kind of went against everything she was being fed and told and just did it her own way. And I mean, the fact we're still speaking about her now and talking about her and listening to her music kind of says everything that you need to know, doesn't it?
It does indeed. Yep. Yeah. I saw her when she was here at the Spark, whatever it was called then, and it was just great to to see that she's
She's
still
just
doing
so
it.
cool.
Yep.
So good. The songs
Well,
are.
although I was so nervous, I was afraid she was going to fall off of her heels. They were so high. I
Yeah.
don't know how you women can
She's
walk
got
on
it
those
down.
things.
She's got it down.
I have a problem with my sneakers. But
Yeah.
anyway, while we're talking about the 90s, you've covered Natalie Imbruglia's Torn. Why that one?
Nothing's fine, I'm torn. I'm alive with faith. This is how I feel. I'm cold and I am shamed, lying naked on the floor. Illusion never takes into something real. I'm wide awake and I can see the perfect sky is torn. You're a little late. I'm already torn.
Yeah, so every time I make a record now, I really just want to be putting on a female cover that I grew up that really influenced me. And I did You Learn on the last record by Alanis Morissette, and this
Right?
record, we've just been playing Torn on our live show, and it's a song very much grew up singing through the years, and realized there'd never been a country cover of it, and that was quite intriguing to me. And so I just wanted to explore that, and it has really become quite a staple in our set. And I love that Natalie's Australian. I think that's really cool too. We play a lot of shows and festivals in Australia, and the fans just absolutely love that moment where we play that song with them. So I think female voices of the 80s, 90s, early 2000s are just my total jam. And I think I just want to keep putting a song on each record that kind of nods to a female that has come before me and kind of influenced me in a big way.
Right, right. And do you ever get a chance to talk to some of these folks in real life? Some of your idols that
Yeah,
you grew up with?
sometimes schedules line up. I mean, recently we got to have Tanya Doko from Bachelor Girl come and sing with me at the Gympie Muster, which was really cool. She's another person that I like have so much respect for and absolutely adore. And so that was really cool. We've become really good friends. And it is. It's so nice to have really, good friends in this industry and people that you have looked up to when you do get to a point in your career where you can kind of build some kind of relationship and there's a respect both ways. I think that's such a nice place to be in. And that's where we're kind of starting to get to now, which is really awesome.
Yeah. Did you happen to watch Farm Aid over the weekend?
I did not. I was gutted to miss that, actually.
Seeing
I love
90,
that
I
Willie
thought
does
I
that, though.
thought with Willie there, he's 92 years old. He'd
Isn't
kind
he
of
just the
show up at
machine?
the end
Oh,
and do a couple of on the roads again, and that would be it. But he did the longest set of the night, I think, and he was.
he's just so cool. I
Um,
mean, just to be as half as cool as Willie Nelson, right?
yeah, I got to say, yeah. Now back to your record. It ends with this tune that's a little bit different than the others. A song called "Heartbeat" that sounds a little kind of reflective and personal. What can you tell me about that?
It started in a moment, turned into a kiss. Talk about forever, maybe this is it. Ain't it funny tonight how the rest of our life is a story about to begin? I'm a little scared if I tell the truth, but I know I'll be fine when I'm looking at you. Now it ain't just you and me, and I'm starting to see how much can change in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that's a song that I wrote for my son James. But back when we found out we were having him, I have had a lifetime of health issues and didn't think that I was going to be able to have children. So
Yeah,
it was quite a big moment, I would say, in my life
yeah,
when we found out we were having a baby. And I was in Nashville and I kind of went into a songwriter and just kind of broke down and was just like, yeah, I'm here. Probably need to write this song today because
Yep.
there's not much else I can do. And yeah, it's just cool. I think it's important to capture moments like that. I think songwriting is like therapy in a lot of ways as well. So it was as much necessary for me just to write a song like that anyway, whether I'd put that out or not. But yeah, I also want to be open with people in my story, and James is a big part of our lives now, and he gets to come out on the road. And I've written a lot more songs for him, and as he gets older, it's sort of like starting to just see things through his eyes a bit more, and what the world will look like for him. And so yeah, he's definitely having a big influence on my writing a lot more. But this particular song, I just wanted to kind of end the record with and showcase like that chapter and how that ended with, you know, kind of your whole world getting flipped around in a second, but for the right reasons, you know, for
Sure.
what such a beautiful gift of a baby, you know.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I have a 3-year-old and a 10-month-old grandson
Oh, you get it.
and it's because my kids are old, and you know, you kind of just like, oh my God, it's ridiculous.
They
Yeah.
bring everything into the present, don't they? It's
They
great.
that's one way to put it. Yes, absolutely.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's quite something. So, what is your plan once the record is out? Do you have a master plan, world domination, that kind of thing? What are
World
your
domination mostly, yeah.
yeah.
We have a New Zealand tour coming up in November. We're playing right through the country, Invercargill, Christchurch, Dunedin, Wellington, Auckland, playing some cool venues, the Civic, the town
Yeah.
halls.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I just love touring New Zealand now. I feel like we've built such a beautiful fan
Yeah.
base here that allows me to do that.
Because I remember I saw you at the power station. It was
That's
like an
right.
early show. The doors
Yeah,
opened at 4 or something, which was a
that's
great
right. Like
idea,
a
right?
Sunday. Yeah. Yeah, so I feel like we've really earned our stripes in this country. You know, like I did the Tuning Fork, I did the
Yeah.
Power Station, we did the Town Hall last year, and now we're doing the Civic. So it's been cool to kind of just take our time and move through the different venues. And yeah, so we'll get back and do that this year. Got a lot of Australian festivals. We're playing one with Shabuzi and Jelly Roll in November, and
That'll be
then
fun.
we're back over to Australia for a lot more touring next year. And America obviously slots in as well, in the UK. So just yeah, it's such a global career now because of the way country music is exploding all around the world. And I just am wherever the gig is where we will be. And
Right.
that's what's just so great about this now. It could be in any country at any time, and we just have to show up and be there, and it's great.
It sounds like you're doing that's exactly what you're doing, showing up everywhere.
Yeah.
It must feel like that do you feel like you're like doing 5 things at once in 5
Oh,
different
always
roles
juggling.
yeah.
Yeah, but
All
it's
right.
for the right reasons, you know. I feel like yeah, a bad day in music is still a great day, in my opinion.
If you enjoyed this episode of the 13th Floor's Music Talk series, please be sure to subscribe to the website or to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram and wherever you find your podcasts. There's a whole lot more to discover.